A new report reveals that the Chinese government likely hacked computers at the FDIC in 2010, 11, and 13. So the FDIC is what guarantees all of our bank deposits. So that's bad enough. But the follow-up is that the U.S. employees, some of them, covered up the potential hack. So this probe shows that breaches were likely covered up to protect the job of the FDIC chairman, Martin Gruenberg. For the record, he was nominated by President Obama in 2011. With me now, the author of The Damned of Petersburg, retired Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters. So, Colonel, this is the FDIC, again, this is the insurance that even if there's a crash and you and I go to the bank and try to take our money out, that at least some of it will be there. But the Chinese hacked into it and we covered it up. Which is the greater sin?
Well, the greater sin is covering it up and lying to the American people yet again. But, Deirdre, this is just part of the pattern of almost categorical dishonesty on the part of this administration. And it's tough. I mean, the administration, as you know very well, avoids tough problems. Obama doesn't like confrontations. He's Mr. Cool. And the problem with this hacking, on three separate years at least, the Chinese hacking into the FDIC, is that we cannot respond just by hacking back, because the information we get from them does not have the same relative value. The information they get from us, from the FDIC and many other public and private entities when they hack in, they can use it because they are lawless. But even if we get information, we are still a nation of laws, despite much evidence to the contrary, and so we can't really respond. Plus, the information we get from them is corrupted anyway. So we would have to respond asymmetrically. That would mean sanctions on individuals, tariffs on specific goods, and you know this administration just doesn't have the guts for that.
But it does bring up this larger question, which we can talk about another day, that China keeps hacking us. I mean, they also hacked into essentially the HR department of the U.S. government, which I know we spoke about when it happened at length, but it's a disturbing pattern. Speaking of which, an ex-Gitmo detainee has been added to the U.S. terrorist list because he was just arrested in connection to last month's ISIS-inspired attack in the Istanbul airport that left 45 people dead. So to what extent does the Obama administration bear responsibility for closing Gitmo and sending people back, whether it's where they came from or just out, to be able to reconnect?
Well, to be scrupulously fair on this one, this guy, Ayrat Akitov, from Russia's Tatarstan province, which is a Muslim state deep in the heart of Russia, it's an anomaly, he was released under George Bush. However, the Bush administration was trying to get rid of some of the lesser lights. They used some bad judgment, as in with this guy. But the Obama administration has been releasing the hardest of the hardcore guy, simply on the basis not of our national security, but because of a 2008 campaign promise. So the president refuses to learn, and these guys are dangerous. Many of them do go back to jihad, and when you place the imaginary rights of habeas corpus for foreign terrorists above the security of law-abiding citizens, not just here but around the world, you get this kind of behavior.
That's a great point indeed, that maybe if somebody has tried to blow up civilians or soft targets, we become, at least in theory, a little bit less concerned with their rights. Colonel Ralph Peters, thank you as always.
Thank you, Deirdre.